Stock sectors. Arby's going to share analysis on the airline sector. Now, while we're believing we're in a negative condition in the stock market and in a correction, this is one of the sectors that is turning positive. He's going to show you why, and why maybe looking at this can put it on your radar as to when this correction is over, you might have a good sector to be looking for on the long side. So take a look at this.
Okay, so this is our stock sectors video for this morning on the airline category. What we have seen earlier this week is a bullish breakout to the upside in UAL post earnings, and that had us look at the sector ETF that we follow, which is the US Global Jets ETF. And what we will do in this video is first look at the Jets ETF and then look at the four major airliners that we follow here with UAL, AAL, DAL, as well as ALK. And after this video, you should have a clear understanding of where we believe we are in both the intermediate term and short term cycle pattern. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Okay, so this is our both weekly and daily cycle analysis for the US Global Jets ETF, or the JETS. We will go ahead and pull up the weekly chart. Now, for those who are new, at the bottom of the chart, we have our cycle brackets here. These are all manually drawn on all of our charts, and they're simply a visual tool to help us to see the money flow patterns. And what's happening here is that we have a low that is due 4.8 to right around 6.3. This is also a basing cycle that is forming here with a higher cycle low versus the old low. This is a bullish pattern. To learn more about basing cycles and various types of cycle structures, certainly want to look at the cycle workshop. We do have a special going on, just as an FYI. What we see here in the Jets is that, as I said, there is a basing cycle forming, and we are getting ready to turn back to the upside here. Overall, we are looking for a move towards this 50 to this 61.8 fib from 2232 to right around 2309 here on the intermediate term time frame, as long as we're holding this now key low at 1905. If we go ahead and shift over to the daily, you'll see what's happening here on the daily chart. A very strong move here on the upside off of what was a key trough that we believe has now likely formed in the Jets ETF versus 1905. You will note that there was a bottom due right around the April to May time period. I have shortened these cycle brackets by 2 bars just for this slightly early low on the daily time frame, and now we are turning back to the upside. We have a positive cycle here with a higher cycle high and a higher cycle low. There are good odds of, at the very least, a test of that old high in the short term, and that is at 21.22. If it can move through that on a daily basis, we would be looking for a move towards 22 to 2275, which is this blue zone right here in the Jets ETF. Okay, so that gives you a good summary for what's going on in the sector. Now let's look quickly at some of the major airliners. We'll first look at UAL, and you can see just a massive breakout on volume in UAL. And here we also had a really solid bullish base that was forming here with a higher low versus the old low. And this name also had a low due. A low was due 325 to right around 5.6. We have now broken up out of the base and confirmed that an important bottom is now in place in UAL. On the upside, you can see our levels here from 55.12 up to right around 58 quarter or so, which was this old swing high here in UAL. So overall, we will look at dips to be likely long side opportunities for a move back to the upside. Shift over to the daily chart. You will see here a higher cycle high, higher cycle low, positive cycle structure in place. And we have just blasted off on earnings. So if we were to see a dip here, we would be only looking to the long side, given that all of our indicators here have turned back to the upside. That is giving us a positive bias in terms of the trend. So we are looking for a move towards this level right here at 54.12 on a very modest flag post earnings. Okay, so that's what we are focusing on here in the UAL both weekly and daily cycle pattern. If we shift over to AAL, you can see that this is obviously a laggard. This is frequently a laggard. For all of us who have flown AAL, we all know we have all had, I'm sure, our share of difficulties with this airline, so no shock that that this is a laggard stock. There is a low that is due here as well, however, 4012513. We are holding perfectly at that 61.85. Note that there was also earnings here coming out on 425 in the pre-market, so we have to wait for earnings to get proper clarity here, but there are overall good odds that we are in what we would call as a bottoming phase here in AAL. On the upside, we will look for a move towards that's 78.6 fib at right around 1543, and then we have this old high here at 1615. Shift over now to the daily chart. You will see that there is also a daily low to here, 49 to right around 418. We are turning back to the upside. Again, in the short term, we are looking for a move towards that 61.8 fib, right around 1484. If we go ahead and shift over now to DAL, we'll pull up the weekly. You can see that this is acting very strong. Now, this is really key. This is a very strong, what we would call a swamped cycle or a right-hand translation, where we have used up most of this cycle rallying. It's leaving a short window of time for a pullback, good odds of a move to higher highs in that next rising mode here. There is also a low due here, 311 to right around 520. We are looking for a move back towards 52 quarter and higher here in DAL. If we shift over to the daily chart, there is a daily low due here as well, 49 to 426. We are looking for a move up into this zone here, 5170 to right around 53.5 or so. So really strong action in Delta, and certainly one of the relative strength leaders in this category. Finally, let's go ahead and shift over to ALK. And you can see a very strong pattern here. We did post this on social media. Very strong higher low basing cycle that is now confirmed. We had a bottom due here as well, 318 to right on 513. We have turned up. We are looking for a move into this zone, 48, 45 to right on 50.75 on the intermediate term, as long as this low holds at 40.07. And there was also a daily low that was due here, right around the middle part of April. It formed its low and then it just blasted off on the upside. We are looking for a move as we have added in here, 46.90 to 48.70. Small dips we will look at to be bought for a move up into that target that I just highlighted. Okay, so that is a look here at the airlines. Okay, so that was our look at a mini stock sectors here on the airline category. You will see that throughout all of these stocks, we are early in rising phases on both the intermediate term and short term. Now, if you want to learn more about how we do this type of cycle analysis, please go ahead and take the askSlim cycle workshop. We have our biannual special going on here, so we don't offer this all that often, but I have to tell you, it gives you a fantastic feel for the market. I haven't seen any other style of market analysis that gives you this kind of level of feel and understands that sense of timing. With this process, we can forecast in terms of price, time, and direction. For those who have access to our trading desk service, you have seen us do it on a consistent basis for years. Are we going to be wrong? Of course, but we will be far more right than we will be wrong. And that's all that you can really ever ask of any process. So if you are interested in learning more about our cycle workshop, please head over to askSlim.com and click on the workshop button at the top of the screen. Thanks again, and I hope you guys have a great day.